Some cars are just vehicles. They take you from point A to point B. But others? They become legends. What separates a car from being just another model on the road and elevates it into history? Let's break down some key elements that make a car truly legendary. Timeless design. A car that never grows old. A legendary car has a design that stands the test of time. Think of the Lamborghini Countach, Ferrari F40, or Porsche 911. Cars that still turn heads decades after their release. A great design is more than just aerodynamics and functionality. It's an artistic statement that leaves a lasting impact. Iconic cars often introduce bold styling choices. Whether it's the gull-wing doors of the Mercedes 300 SL, the aggressive wedge shape of the Lancia Stratos, or the sleek curves of the Jaguar E-Type. These aren't just vehicles, they're rolling sculptures. When a car becomes immediately recognizable, even to those who aren't car enthusiasts, it has achieved something special. That's why people still dream about owning a classic muscle car, a vintage Ferrari, or even a first-generation Ford Mustang. If it looks just as stunning 50 years later, it's legendary. Revolutionary performance, the power that changed the game. A car becomes legendary when it pushes the limits of speed, power, and handling. Every legendary car has something that sets it apart, whether it's being the fastest, most powerful, or best handling car of its era. Take the McLaren F1, for example. When it debuted in 1992, it became the fastest production car in the world, hitting a top speed of 240 miles per hour, a record that stood for years. Or consider the Bugatti Veyron, which broke boundaries by being the first car to surpass 1,000 horsepower in a production model. It's not just about raw speed, though. Some cars, like the Mazda MX-5 Miata, become legends for perfecting balance and handling, making them a joy to drive. Others, like the Tesla Model S Plaid, redefine what's possible in acceleration, going 0 to 60 mph in under 2 seconds. A legendary car always sets new benchmarks and forces every other automaker to catch up. Racing heritage, winning on the track, winning in history. If a car dominates the racetrack, it earns instant respect. Some of the most legendary cars were forged in the heat of competition. Whether it was Le Mans, Formula One, rally racing, or drag strips. The Ford GT40 became an icon after defeating Ferrari at Le Mans 4 years in a row, 1966 to 1969. The Porsche 917 solidified Porsche's racing dominance, and the Lancia Delta Integrale became a legend in rally racing with 6 consecutive World Rally Championships. Even street cars with racing DNA earn legendary status. The Ferrari F40, for example, was heavily influenced by Ferrari's F1 technology. The Nissan Skyline GT R32, R33, R34 earned the nickname Godzilla because of its dominance in Japanese touring car racing. If a car wins on the track, it wins in history. Time for a quick drive-through of your heart. Are you a Ferrari? Because every time I see you, my heart races at 9,000 RPM. Cultural impact. A car that becomes more than a machine. A legendary car doesn't just exist, it becomes a cultural phenomenon. Some cars are tied to movies, TV shows, music, and even video games, making them legendary in ways that go beyond performance. Think about the DeLorean DMC-12. It wasn't the fastest or best handling car, but thanks to Back to the Future, it became one of the most recognizable cars in history. The Dodge Charger from the Fast and the Furious made muscle cars cool again. And let's not forget the Toyota Supra MK4 from Fast and Furious. It turned into a global icon overnight. Some cars even get legendary status through music videos, rap lyrics, or being the go-to ride for celebrities. Whether it's a lowrider Cadillac, a Rolls-Royce Phantom, or a Lamborghini Aventador, a car that influences pop culture transcends the road and enters history. Exclusivity, The fewer, the better. A legendary car is often rare and hard to own. The more exclusive, the more people want it. Cars like the Ferrari 250 GTO are legendary not just because of their performance, but because only 36 were ever built, making them worth over $50 million today. The McLaren P1, LaFerrari, and Porsche 918 Spider were all built in limited numbers, making them modern legends. Even classic muscle cars like the Dodge Hemi Cuda and the Shelby Cobra are highly sought after because of their rarity. Sometimes, the rarity isn't about production numbers, but accessibility. Ferrari's invite-only sales model for ultra-exclusive cars like the Monza SP1/SP2 and the Ferrari Daytona SP3 makes them feel even more legendary. If a car is hard to get, it only increases its legendary status. Are you a rare Ferrari? Because no matter how exclusive you are, I'll always chase after you. Iconic sound. A car that roars like a legend. Some cars don't just look legendary, they sound legendary. The roar of an engine, the scream of a high-revving V12, or the aggressive growl of a V8 can define a car's identity. Enthusiasts can recognize certain cars just by their exhaust note, before even seeing them. That's what makes sound such a powerful aspect of automotive legend. Take the Lamborghini V12, for example. From the Miura to the Aventador, Lamborghini's naturally aspirated V12 has produced some of the most ferocious, high-pitched exhaust notes in history. It's a sound that commands attention and raises the pulse. Similarly, the Porsche Carrera GT's V10 is often cited as one of the most exhilarating engine sounds ever created, with a raw, untamed scream that echoes through tunnels like a Formula One car. American muscle cars, like the Dodge Challenger Hellcat or the Ford Mustang Shelby GT500, offer a completely different experience. Their deep, throaty V8s rumble with a presence that shakes the ground and announces their arrival long before they appear. And then there's the turbocharged symphony of cars like the Nissan GT-R, with its unmistakable turbo spool and wastegate flutter. A truly legendary car doesn't just perform, it sings its own unique song. When a car's sound can make your spine tingle and your heart race, you know it's earned its place in history. Are you a turbocharger? Because every time you're near, you take my breath away. Innovation. The car that changed everything. A car doesn't become legendary by playing it safe. It becomes legendary by breaking the rules and redefining the industry. Some cars introduce groundbreaking technology, engineering, or design, pushing the limits of what's possible and leaving a lasting impact on the entire automotive world. Take the Tesla Roadster, 2008. Before Tesla, electric cars were seen as slow and impractical. But when the Roadster launched, it shattered expectations, proving that EVs could be fast, stylish, and thrilling to drive. Now, Tesla dominates the EV market, and the world is moving toward electrification. Another prime example is the McLaren F1 1992. This car introduced a center driving position, extensive carbon fiber construction, and a naturally aspirated V12 that reached a record-breaking 240 miles per hour. It was decades ahead of its time, and many of its innovations influenced modern supercars. And we can't forget the Bugatti Veyron, 2005, which redefined what a production car could achieve. With over 1,000 horsepower and a top speed exceeding 250 miles per hour, it became the first hypercar to truly break the barriers of speed and luxury. A car that pioneers something new, whether in aerodynamics, performance, or alternative powertrains, earns its place among legends. Longevity. A legend never dies. One of the key signs of a legendary car is its ability to stay relevant for generations. While some cars fade into obscurity, others remain iconic decades after their debut, still holding their own against modern counterparts. Consider the Porsche 911. First introduced in 1964, This car has seen continuous production for over 60 years, with each new generation refining the original formula without losing its identity. The 911 is the perfect example of evolution over revolution, keeping its classic silhouette while constantly improving performance. Then there's the Ford Mustang. Debuting in 1964, it sparked the pony car movement and has remained one of the most recognizable muscle cars ever built. Even today, a brand new Mustang carries the same rebellious spirit as its ancestors. Another prime example is the Honda Civic Type R. From the EK9 to the FL5, it has consistently been one of the best front-wheel drive performance cars on the market, proving that affordable performance can stand the test of time. When a car remains desirable and respected for decades, despite changing trends and technologies, it cements its status as an all-time great. Are you a classic car? Because no matter how much time passes, you only get more valuable. Performance that still holds up. Some cars were once considered fast, but have since been outpaced by modern advancements. However, true legends remain thrilling to drive even years or decades after their debut. Take the Lamborghini Miura, 1966. Often regarded as the first supercar. Despite being over 50 years old, it still delivers an exhilarating driving experience, thanks to its mid-engine V12 layout, lightweight chassis, and stunning looks. The Ferrari F40, 1987, is another perfect example. At the time, it was the fastest, most extreme road car ever built, reaching 201 miles per hour. Even today, with its twin-turbo V8, manual gearbox, and raw driving dynamics, it remains one of the most sought-after supercars ever made. Then there's the Honda NSX, 1990s. Co-developed with Ayrton Senna, this car showed that supercars didn't have to be unreliable or difficult to drive. Even in 2024, the original NSX offers an incredible driving experience, thanks to its perfectly balanced chassis and naturally aspirated V6. A car that can still put a smile on your face decades later, even in an era of 1,000 horsepower EVs, is a car that has truly earned its legendary status. Emotional connection, the car that sparks passion. At the end of the day, the most legendary cars are not just machines, they are emotions on wheels. They make people feel something special, whether it's nostalgia, adrenaline, or pure excitement. Some cars are linked to childhood dreams. Maybe you had a Lamborghini poster on your wall as a kid, or you saw a Dodge Charger in a movie and fell in love with its aggressive presence. Others become family heirlooms, passed down through generations, carrying stories and memories. There are also cars that offer a sense of freedom and adventure. A Jeep Wrangler might remind someone of road trips and off-road adventures, while a Mazda MX-5 Miata brings back memories of winding mountain roads and carefree summer drives. Even the most hardcore speed enthusiasts will admit that the connection between a driver and a car is more than just specs and numbers. It's about how a car makes you feel every time you get behind the wheel. The greatest cars are the ones that create unforgettable experiences. That's what makes them truly legendary. Which legendary car has left the biggest impact on you? Let us know in the comments. If you love cars as much as we do, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more deep dives into automotive greatness.